All right, good everyone, and welcome to the 3HW Academy Inner Family Member Training. You are all welcome. You are all welcome wherever you are connecting from. I say a big welcome to you. Welcome. Welcome. Once again, I am your coach, Coach ANYIM Donatus. I'm the founder of 3HW Academy, and I specialize in human operating system as a personality development coach, identity engineering, and financial intelligence. So once again, you are welcome to today's meeting, and I will go straight into the training today. Moving straight into the training today. Now, today, we are looking at something special and something we value in the inner family meeting of 3HW Academy. It has been a journey since 1st of July, since July 2025. That is the first training of 3HW Academy. I mean the first inner circle training. That is, this is the first month. We've done July, August, September. This is October, the fourth month. And today is Module 9. Module 9. So you are welcome to Module 9. You are welcome to Module 9 of our training today. Now, today we are looking at reprogramming your life through daily action. Reprogramming your life through daily action. Now, this training is inspired by Atomic Habit, James Clear. That is we have been on this journey of reprogramming. Remember the whole, these first 6 months, we are actually looking at an algorithm to create the life you want. We'll be taking it step by step, and we'll be moving. And now we've gotten to this stage. We are just rounding up Atomic Habit as one of the major books, because we know that once there is a shift in your perception, what we follow is actually a shift in your philosophy, your ideology. Then what we follow is a shift in your habits. A shift in your perception will cause a shift in your ideology. A shift in your ideology will cause a shift in your actions. And a shift in your actions will cause a shift in your habits will cause a shift in your actions. And of course, your result in life will change. Your result will change. And that is why we are looking at this. So follow me as we go through this training on reprogramming your life through daily actions as one of the things you can also reprogram. It is inspired by James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits. That is today's training. Now, let's go. Your life today is a sum of your repeated actions, not your intention. You know, I'm starting this way because a lot of persons have been living, maybe you have spent most of your days, most of your years, and when you are looking back, you will discover that you may not have made some tangible change in life. You try to look at some of the milestones, you are not really seeing any. Now, today is actually as a result of your yesterday. You know, sometimes we talk about future, 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 future. Today is your future, but it is a future to yesterday. And you need to understand that every day you are reprogramming your future. So whenever somebody is talking about your future is bright, your future is bright, I must get there. There is no future anywhere. Your future is today. And it's as a result of your everyday program. Every day you program your future, either by design or by default. So many are living by default. They have never designed their future. They have never taken time. So the SBS here, remember anytime we talk about SBS, we are talking about what are your daily actions saying about your destiny? It's a question. And you need to pause and answer yourself that question. What are your daily actions saying about your destiny? You must find a way to make sure that your daily actions speak about your destiny, or else there's no future anywhere if you don't adjust your daily action, if you don't reprogram. We so much believe in 3HW Academy in reprogramming because every human you see living is being run by a program from the human operating system. The human operating system is the first software. It's just like when you get to a computer system, you discover that the first software that allows other softwares to run on that computer is the operating system. If it is corrupted, if it is outdated, it will not allow or give way to new modern softwares to run in them. So the question is, your OS, your human operating system, your mind, what is the script running on it? Did you design it, or you are living by default? Now, look at this. Your life today is the sum of your repeated actions. This is the basic truth, not your intention. You may have good intentions in life. The other day, while teaching, I was telling people that it is commonly said that if wishes were horses, beggars could have ride. But not your wishes. Every day you are programming your future, either by design or by default. And I've asked you this question: what are your daily actions? What are they saying about your future? Not your intentions. You may have good intentions, but what do? Your action, because action is king. Look at it. Why people struggle to change? Why do people struggle to change? Old habits. Many persons, one of the greatest problems they have is changing their old habits. And if you can change, everything around you will change. It is a waste of time to think of changing the government. It is a waste of time to think of changing your friends, changing your pastor. It is a waste of time. All you need to change is your daily actions. Your daily actions. Look at it. Your daily actions, old habits, old habits. Because you look at it, why do people struggle with old habits? Why do people struggle with old habits? It is simple. Number one is lack of awareness. You see, habits are repeated behaviors. I've taken everyone in this platform through identity engineering, where I have to take you through behavior and character adjustment on how you can adjust your behavior, how you can adjust your character. Now, when these behaviors becomes automated, they becomes habits. Because we are looking at the link between behavior and habits. And I've taken you through even this lack of awareness. In some of the training, I've taken you through what lack of awareness does when it comes to behavior, which when it has now become automated, as you repeat them, it has moved from the conscious mind to the subconscious mind, and it is there. It becomes a habit. It now becomes an old habit that you are struggling with. But today, you can change them. And how do you change them? Why? First of all, you need to know why people struggle with them to change it. It is easy to develop a habit, very easy, but it is very difficult to change an old habit. Because once the habit is there, it is there. I tell you, it is only reprogramming that can uproot a old habit. So I want you to give me your all ears as I run through this one by one. Lack of awareness. Many people don't realize what triggers their habits. Because most of this old habit runs on autopilot. That is why the old habits are in the subconscious mind. I told you in our algorithm that the subconscious mind rules your life. 95% of your daily actions is being controlled by your subconscious mind. Because in the subconscious mind, you don't really have control. And that is why it is a habit. So sometimes all you need to do is to have an awareness of what triggers you. If you can discover what triggers those habits, as we go on, you understand the cue, the cravings. Now, what triggers it? The old habit. Most of the time runs on autopilot. You perform them without conscious thoughts. So the first thing you need to do is to do what? Be aware of what triggers that habit. Understand the cue. Try to check out, what am I really craving for? This habit that is now dominant in me, what triggers it? Awareness. Number two, your emotional attachment. See, habits are not just actions. Remember, I will always tell you that once there is a shift in your thoughts, that what we follow is a shift in your habits, then what we follow is a shift in your actions. So habits are not just actions. They are often linked to comfort, stress relief. Those habits, they are linked to stress relief or identity. So whenever we are talking about emotional attachment, your subconscious mind is an emotional mind. Any uh, any of these things that have moved from the conscious to the subconscious, it becomes emotional. Once you get attached, emotionally attached to any habit or to any action or to any behavior, you get emotionally attached to it. You move it from the conscious level to the subconscious level. Take, for instance, somebody who overeats may be suiting emotional pain, not hunger. You may be looking at the person, you think, this person is overeating. It may be just emotional pain, not really hunger. It's just, for instance, somebody who is always angry. Anger. It's emotional. What triggers the anger may not really be, it may just, so that is how it works. Let's quickly continue because we're running out of time. The next one is immediate rewards. Immediate reward. When you see someone, because we are looking at why people struggle to change. You want to change people, or people want to change, but they are struggling. The truth remains that if you can change, everything around you will change. Bad habits usually give instant gratification. That is the immediate reward. Why people struggle to change is because bad habit has immediate reward, which is instant gratification. You're a smoker. If you think long term, you will engage in it. Because of the immediate instant gratification, good habits brings delayed reward. But the truth is that the brain prefers short-term pleasure over long-term gain. The brain on its own, it prefers short-term pleasure over long-term pleasure. That is the way the brain is wired. And that is why you see that many people build their life on instant gratification because of the reward. That is why they don't change. But immediately there is a change. That is why we say once there is a shift in your thought, that is, once there is a shift in your perception, that brings a whole change. Now, the next one is lack of clear identity shift. Lack of clear identity shift. Why people struggle to change? Lack of clear identity shift. Now, look at it. Trying to quit a bad habit without redefining who you are relying last. You can't just say, I am stopping procrastination. You must begin saying, I am a disciplined and focused person. Most of the time, people like in the last lecture where we are looking at uh, the power of identity change over behavioral change. Yes, you may start with behavioral change, but identity change is more powerful and more permanent. So you need a clear identity shift. For instance, if you just tell yourself, I am stopping procrastination. I want to stop procrastination. I want to stop hesitation. I don't want to be the kind of person always hesitating or procrastinating. You will keep saying that. But once there is a new identity, I am a disciplined man. I am a focused person. That changes the whole perspective. Now, the next is environment. Environment doesn't support change. Environment doesn't support change. You know, one of the, if you have taken your time to go through Atomic Habit, if you have taken your time, you have gone through Atomic Habit, you discover that one of the ways when you are changing a old habit is to change the environment. Remaining in the old environment, I don't mean when we talk about environment, we are not talking about relocation. Sometimes it will get to that extent, but that's not the environment we mean, but it is part of it. What I mean by environment, if your surroundings still triggered old behavior, changes becomes very difficult. For instance, same place, same people, same routine is equals to same result. The same place, the same people, the same routine. Your PPR is equals to the same result. So there are sometimes, you know, they made a study of, I think it should be a particular hospital where they were trying to uh, make people to stop taking much sodas and take more water than soda. Now, all they did was to adjust the environment. They didn't do anything. They didn't call the people and say today. So all you just need to do sometimes is to adjust the environment, change the environment. Not that they packed out of that place. All they did is okay, where they used to have the drinks in the fridge, the drinks were still there. They didn't remove them, but they added more bottled waters to them. Then again, all over the environment, they carved out other places within the environment and strategized bottled waters around them. What they discovered that people now buys more bottled waters than sodas because in the environment it filled with bottled water everywhere. And there is a way the brain works. Remember, we don't see with our eyes. We see through our eyes. We see with our mind. So the interpretation of the mind, that is why this is a great tool. Because if you know why it is difficult, then you know how you can adjust environment. If you can move out, if you can change the environment, if you can make that habit that is difficult to change, if you can make it less attractive, or if you can cut it from the root, change the environment. Number 6, no replacement habits. The truth is that you cannot erase a habit. You cannot erase a habit. All you need to do into a habit is to replace it. Until you take a new habit to replace the old one will keep manifesting. So if you remove an old routine without filling the gap, the mind reverts to what is familiar. Remember that the mind learns from every situation. The brain, like it's just like AI today. The AI, different AI models, they learn through input, through so many ways. The same thing with the mind, with the brain. It learns. So people want to change a old habit, but no replacement for the old habit. The next one, all or nothing thinking. All or nothing thinking. You see, many people expect instant success. One failure will make them to feel as, I've got again. I've matched the line again. I've blown it. And this will lead them to discouragement. But when we come to this daily action, reprogramming your daily action, we focus on progress, not perfection. We focus on progress, not perfection. That is why we said in SBS, old habits don't die easily because they live in your identity. To change them, you must rewrite your self-image and rebuild your environment to match your new beliefs. You must rebuild your environment to match your new beliefs. And that is why sometimes when we are teaching people, we teach them that you are permitted to fake it until you make it. You have to fake it until you make it. Fake it until you become it. Then the next one, lack of accountability or support. Lack of accountability or support. Now, look at it this way. Change thrives in community and mentorship. You know, when we look at most of, it's just like 3H Academy. The essence of the academy, either maybe as an inner circle family member or as the open class, the open platform where you learn. We want people to be accountable, just like the Palace Challenge, behavior and character adjustment challenge that we went through some time ago. People are not willing to be accountable. And lack of accountability or support is a major problem. Change will only thrive in a community or with a mentor. Because when no one holds you accountable, it is easy to return to comfort zone. When no one holds you accountable, it is very, very easy to return to comfort zone. And many have returned to their comfort zone because they don't want accountability. And change can only thrive with accountability. That is why people struggle with old habits. No mentor. See, if you are going to change, you need to understand the concept of the human operating system. And you get to spend time and money. You got to read. Spend time and money and make sure you understand this concept of the human operating system. Because if you can understand it, then you can write a new script for your life. And you can be holy. You can be healthy. You can be happy. And you can be wealthy. A new identity is possible. Because this becomes your identity. You no longer struggle with them. Let's continue. Now, let's look at number 9. Understanding small changes. Understanding small changes. You know, most of the time people believe in big actions. They think that only big actions count. But small, consistent changes reprogram the brain over time. It is small, consistent changes. The secret here is consistent changes. Small, but consistent. Don't try to do it. Okay, sorry for the loss of audio. It's actually the microphone. It went down. Uh, the mic went down. This one has gone down, but I've picked up another one. Sorry. And thank you for notifying me on time. Now, don't start with goals. Start with identity. Every small habit, every small habit rewires the brain. Every small habit, it rewires the brain. Daily repetition becomes self-programming. Daily repetition. So what we are saying here is that the secret of daily reprogramming, small programming, but let it be daily. Daily. Don't start with goals. Look at the identity. Whom I want to become. That is your identity. Now, focus on daily actions in the direction of whom you want to become. This is because every small action will always go and rewire the brain. And of course, daily repetition becomes self-reprogrammed. The SBS, that is superior belief system. Every action is a vote for the person you are becoming. Clear in, for those of you that have followed us in Atomic Habit, I told you that this lecture is taken from Atomic Habit. It's kind of, we are trying to summarize because we are about picking the next book in the inner circle, in the inner family, circle family. So every action is a vote for the person you are becoming. That is why I say go and write your to-be list, whom you are becoming. When you brush your teeth, or you speak kindly, or you exercise, your brain records it as if as whom you are. You are doing it, but your brain is recording it as whom you are. That is why you need this script to be able to live out this life you really want. Now, let's get straight to the 1% rule. The 1% rule. If you have not read Atomic Habits, I will encourage you to go spend time and read it. Make sure you complete the book. It's going to cause a change, a shift in your thoughts. Now look at the 1% rule. Tiny changes, big results. The truth is that 1% better daily habits is equal to 37 times better yearly. You will become 37 times better yearly. Now, this 1% rule is actually a philosophy of continuous incremental improvement. Now, what the author or the originator of this 1% rule, what they are saying is that success doesn't come from one giant leap, but from hundreds or thousands of tiny, almost imperceptible steps forward. Almost unnoticeable steps forward. They are tiny, but they are consistent. 1,000 tiny, consistent steps. It is one of the law of compounding interest, but it is dramatic over time. The same thing, getting 1% worse every day leads to a steep decline. Anyone that becomes, that is why you discover that those people that you see somebody who is becoming bad every day, developing bad habits. Sometimes they will just start uh, going around with friends. Before you know, they will add another habit, maybe drinking alcohol. Before you know, they will increase nightclub. They get worse by the day. But look at the math behind the 1% rule. 1% better daily. 1% rule. You have been hearing it, you need to adopt it. If you improve by 1% daily, at the end of the 365 days, you have improved by 37.78%. You have improved 37.78 times better after 1 year, which means every year 37% better. This is huge. But of course, those that are declining, you decline 1% daily. At the end of the year, you decline by 3% after 1 year. So you can see the great difference. The difference between doing something 1% better and 1% worse is 37-fold difference over a year. This is why consistency is far more effective than intensity. Consistency. Now, I'm going to give you, you have heard about, I've talked about the cue. If you can get to the extent that you no longer say, I'll meditate more. Instead, you say, immediately after I pour my morning coffee, I'll meditate for 1 minute before taking the coffee. You discover that you have positioned the mind, you have exact, or let me use the word, this habit is now tied to another existing habit. This is what sometimes we say we should make the cue obvious. Make the cue obvious. And of course, I'll talk much about it. But when I get there, I may not say much. When you are making the cue obvious, which means you are reducing friction by linking your new habit to an existing one. That is in your habit stacking. Now, your cue here is that you want to meditate more. But because you already have the habit of taking coffee, in your habit stacking, you are now attaching meditation for 1 minute before taking the coffee. We make the cue undeniable. You are making the cue undeniable. Now, in the 1% rule also, if you are improving in your, you are trying to make your craving attractive. The 1% approach, you don't say, I want to go to the gym. You have to pair it with something you love. For instance, you have a favorite music. You make it compulsory. Before I play this music, I must be here. I will play this music while at this place. Your heart may be longing for the music because it's a habit. You are used to it. But you are not used to the gym. But because you are in your habit stacking, you have tied both of them together, you discover that you have made it attractive. The idea here is for you to use temptation bundling to make the habit more appealing. So the 1% rule here, because we are describing the 1%, is that you are adding a tiny bit of immediate gratification. Remember that the brain loves immediate gratification, and bad habit has immediate gratification. But good habit has long-term gratification as a reward. So in your craving, you try to bring in something that has instant gratification. Now, in the 1% rule again, we are told that that habit you are trying to develop, you should make it easy. You have the response, then the reward. Your cue, the craving, the response, the reward. That is the four laws of uh, creating a new habit, using a new habit to replace an old one. Remember, the old habit don't go. You have to replace them. So in the 1% approach of the response, if you want to read more, don't aim for a chapter a night, but commit to reading one page before bed. If you tell yourself, I want to read, I'll read one chapter every night, you won't read because you will struggle with your brain. There is no instant gratification. But you can take the 1%, tiny, one page. I will read one page before bedtime. Tiny. But it is one page, not too big. Okay, just one page. Do it every day. In 30 days, you have read 30 pages. Then multiply it by 365 days. The idea is that master the art of showing up. Master the idea of showing up by trying to take 1%. The goal is to establish the routine. You don't want to achieve a massive result one day. Many people get it wrong. They get it wrong because they want to achieve massive result in one day. But if you want to achieve massive result in one day, it won't work. But rather, the goal of the 1% better daily, the 1% is trying to establish a routine. Almost everything, like wake up in the morning, brush your teeth, it's a routine. You can't stop doing it. But remember the cue, remember the craving, remember the response, and remember the reward. The reward, you wouldn't want, you want to smell nice. Now, the last one is the reward, making it satisfying. The 1% approach is that if you can track your habit on a calendar, get a visual means of tracking your habit. It's either anything you don't track, you can't trust. So you have to track it. And the brain don't like that tracking. But if you can develop the routine, So the idea is in all of them, both the tracking, make it a routine. So that you can have what we call immediate reinforcement.